Okay, Mr. Essay, I say, prepare to be written. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Yeah. Yeah. And some of these. And some of these. Almost there and done. Now let's see how it looks so far.
Boom. 2 plus 2 is 4. Minus 1, that's 3. Quick maths.
Hey guys, Mr. Turner here. Quick review for your retake for proportions. Let's get right at it. We got a lot to cover here. So taking a look here, we have a graph. It wants us to create a graph from the following table here. Let me get my pen going here. So create a graph from the following table. Now it also asks us what is the slope. We know the little m means what is slope. So the quickest way to find slope is to find out how many there is in 1. And it's y over x. So if I take the y, 6 over 2, the x, I can reduce that to 3. And that will be my slope. So if there was a 1 here, I know the value would be 3. Each time this goes up by 3. So the 6, so again, I have 1 over 3. So 4 times 3 equals 12. 6 times 3 equals 18, and so on. 8 times 3 is 24. So that's how I can tell my graph is linear. It's going in a straight line up. So if we were to draw a graph, and x always goes down here on this line, and this is x right here, usually our first value. So x is 2, 4, 6, 8. So I'll go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on. Now we look at y, which is down here, which goes 6, 12, 18, 24. If I wanted to, I could go, well, we'll just keep it like that. So 6, 12, 18, 24. I know on my graph that when x is 2, y is 6. So that goes there. Goes there. When 4 is x, y is 12. Whoops, took it away. 6 and 18, 8 and 24. So, oops, circle means something else on this. So there would be my graph, and it shows that it goes consistently up at 3. So I go up 3 and over 2. I'm sorry, up 3 and over 1 on this graph here, okay? So that's the first one. Next one, create a graph from the following scenario. Rabbit can hop 6 feet in 3 minutes. Well, let's start with a chart here. We're going to have our x and our y. And let's see, time usually is x. And this line here is x, right? So usually this is time. So let's do it like that. So if time is x, we know this time is 3 minutes. Well, okay, we need to find out. We'll get to 3. So let's go ahead and write our chart. We need at least 4, right? Or at least 3, I'm sorry, to make a straight line. So I know when the time is 3 minutes that he can go 6 feet. So this is feet. And I can put that there. So again, using my y over x, I can find out how much there is in 1. So y is, let me change colors here. Y is 6, so I'm going to put that there. And x is 3, put that there. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So I know in 1, my answer is 2. So that means for 2, I'm going to take this number and multiply it by however many is 1. So 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. That makes sense. And then 2 times 4 would be 8. So there's my graph, or my chart. I have 1, 2, 2, 4, 3, 6, 4, 8. Now I'm going to transfer that over here. X always goes on this line, so I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Y is over here. This is going to be my feet, and this is going to be my time, as I labeled. So feet, we're going up by 2's. I tell you what, I'll just go by 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when x is 1, y is 2. So I'm going to mark here. Stop that. Okay, there it is. When x is 2, y is 4. So I'm going to go here and go up to 4 and draw a circle. 3 is 6. There's that. And 4 is 8. There's that. So I do have a straight line going up. My slope is 2, which let's check that out. So that means for every 2 I go up, I have to go over 1. So if I start at this dot and I go up 2 and over 1, I do hit the line. I go up 2, over 1. Hey, I'm doing pretty good here. So that seems to work out. Okay, moving on. The next one. Now we need to compare two people. So we have Adam, who bought video games, and we're going to compare him with Jack. So let's see. We have the graph of Adam, so we know what he did, and we only have the words here for Jack. So we're going to have to find out what Jack is. Let's take a look at this. Take a look at this graph here first. So what is the slope here for Adam? Well, let's find out. Now, I know, let's see here if I can, well, maybe I can't. Oh, well, we're good enough. We'll just go with it. If you look on your graph, it looks like Adam, the line crosses the graph right at 1, 1. It's a good spot. It's hard to see on here. Please, if you look at your paper, you can see it a little bit better there. So I know 1, 1, that's going to be my slope for Adam. That's going to be 1. So every minute he plays, he gets 1 point. And it says in the 1,000, so 1,000 points. So in every 1 minute, he gets 1 or 1,000, since it's in thousands here, points. So that's our slope. We know our slope is 1 here. Now we need to find out Jack. Jack earns 3 points in 2 minutes. So again, if we were going to do our table here again, x and y, we could go 1, 2, 3, and then we know in minutes is usually x. So time is going to be our minutes, and points are going to be 3, because how many points he makes is depending on how much time he plays. So he earned 3 points in 2 minutes. So I can put that there. So now finding out how many he did in 1 minute, which is what we have to compare to Adam, is I'm doing y over x again, and I have 3 over 2. So 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. So in 1 minute he does 1.5 points. So again, Adam does 1 and Jack does 1.5. Now, okay. This is kind of interesting, but hopefully Jack's also getting thousands of points instead of just 1 to make this even, but that's kind of odd. Anyway, so in 1 minute, Adam makes 1 point. Now, the question asks, who earns more points in 6 minutes? So Adam in 6 minutes is 1 times 6, and that equals 6. So Adam makes 6 points in 6 minutes. Now Jack, we have to take his and multiply that by 6, and we get 0.39. So Jack makes 9 points in 6 minutes. So he is obviously making more points than Adam. Okay? Next one. We're moving right along. We got a lot to do here. A cheetah can travel at 20 meters per second. Draw a line to represent the speed of the cheetah. Okay. Well, we need to find out what's what here. So he does, what's he getting? 20 meters per second. So again, our x and y, let's do time for x, because that's usually where it's going to be. And then y is how far he goes, 20 meters. Okay? So in 1 second, he goes 20 meters. So 2 and 3. So in 2 seconds, he goes 40. I take 2 times the base there, the unit. In 3, he goes 60, because I did 3 times 20. And so on and so forth. It'll keep going at a constant speed there. So let's label our graph. This is our time underneath. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this is our meters over here. And what do we got here? 20, 40. We'll go by 10s just for fun. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Okay. So in 1 second, he goes 20 meters. So there's our dot. In 2 seconds, he goes 40. In 3, he goes 60. And in 4, it would be 80. We could just go on and go on forever, right? Because our slope is 20. We have 20 over 1, right? So for every time we go up 20 to 40, 20 to 40 is 1. We go over 1. There we go, 20 to 1. Every time we go up 20 units, we go over 1, and I'm at my dot again. Up 20, over 1. It works. Now, the question says, if a bobcat also runs at a constant speed but is slower than the cheetah, draw a graph and provide a unit rate to represent the speed of the bobcat. So what do we know? We know that this is the speed of the cheetah. Not a very good line, but that's there. Pretend it's straight. So we need another line for the bobcat. We know it's slower, so it's going to be on this side of the graph. Let's find something that would make us easy. How about 420? We'll put a dot there. And then we'll draw our line here. So at a constant speed. So provide a unit rate. So again, if he's going 20 meters in 4 seconds, so we have y over x, 20 over 4, his unit rate would be 5, wouldn't it? Because if I look at my graph, at 1, I probably have 5 here. At 2, I have 10. That makes sense. 3, I have 15. And 4, I have 20. So that makes sense. So the bobcat is slower. The line's going to be less steep. And we know that he's going at a unit rate of 5, as opposed to the cheetah, who goes at a unit rate of 20. So that is much steeper 20 than 5. Makes sense. Okay, a squirrel climbs a tree. 10 of them in 2 days. What is the slope? Well, let's take a look here again. So we're going to do days here, and we're going to do trees here, because depending on how many days it is how many trees he climbs. So 1, 2, 3. I know 2 is 10. So now I'm going to find out how many there's 1. I'm going to take 10 divided by 2. That's y over x again. And I get 5. So the unit rate for this squirrel is 5. So I can put that up here, slope, 5. Okay? Now I also know that, again, if I take 3 times 5, I get 15. And that makes my chart correct. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my x down here, which is days. And then trees over here, which is my y. And so let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in 1 day, he does 5 trees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. In 2 days, oops, come on here. 2 days, he goes 10. So let's go up here. Now, I did not do my graph very good. I probably should have gone 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, huh? That probably would have looked better. And I would have had more room to get up to 15. Because 15 would be up here somewhere, wouldn't it? That's a little far. But anyway, I need to look at my graph and label it more appropriately for what the question is asking. But that would be that one. Okay, last one. At a concession stand, hamburgers are selling at a rate of 160 hamburgers per hour. The table shows the rate at which the wraps are selling. So we have two different things. We have hamburgers, which we need to look at, and then we have wraps right here. Okay. Now I know the unit rate for wraps is 2.5. Because for 1, it's 2.5. So the slope for wraps are 2.5. Okay? Now, we need to find what the unit rate is for hamburgers. We got a couple things to think about here. the wraps are shown in minutes. The hamburgers are shown in hours. Okay? So first of all, we need to find out how many hamburgers are selling per minute to make it the same. So if I have 160 per hour, how many minutes are there in an hour? 60. So I have to multiply that. I have to divide that by 60. Okay? So 160. Let me get rid of this and try again. So 160 divided by 60 will give me 2.6. 2 into that goes 120, and then I have 40, 400. Am I doing that correctly? So that's 40. That gives me 40, 400, 6 times 0, 0, 36, and it just keeps going on and on and on for 2.666. So we'll just say 2.6, okay? So hamburgers, the unit rate is 2.6. Now you could round that up also to 2.7. Either one will work, okay? So the unit rate for wraps is 2.5. The unit rate for hamburgers are 2.6. So it says, do hamburgers or wraps sell faster? Well, the hamburgers do, just by a little bit, because it's 2.6 as opposed to 2.5. Now, it says graph equations that represent the growth rates of hamburgers sold and wraps sold in the same coordinate plane. Compare the steepness of the graph. So if we did the graph of the wraps here. So wraps sell, let's see, what's a good place to look? Wraps sell, that's fun. We need to find a good place. 3 and 7.5. Here's 3. So the wraps, you see the 3, 7.5? If I look at the chart here, 3 and 7.5, it's almost 8. They marked it on there for us. So that's not bad. So that's the wraps. And then the wraps also at 6, go to about 16. That would probably be right if I went further on my chart here. If I went up, that'd be another 5, be about 15. That's about right. And I know that the hamburgers should actually be steeper, right? So actually, if I look at this again, 4 and 10, this would be better for wraps, wouldn't it? 4 and 10, this looks better for wraps. Because I know that if wraps are slower, that line should be below the hamburger line. Okay, because it's a slower rate. It's not as steep. The slope is not as steep, okay? So actually this red line makes sense that this is wraps. That's how I marked it, right? And the hamburgers would be better for this, because I know in 1 minute that we sell about 2.6, so that would be very close right here. But as we go along, it changes. So if I know 2.6, let's look at this dot right here. It says 3, so 3 times 2.6, 18, 6, 7.8. So, oh, look at that. That's closer to 8. So that makes more sense for that being the hamburger, doesn't it? So, anyway. So please look at these problems. There's a couple of bonus ones on here. Hopefully you'll have now. And take a look. Please practice for your next CFA, which is your retake will be on Friday. Thank you.
Hey, hey.